Rev up your engines! Today, by popular demand, I'm going to talk about the 7 worst trucks of 2019. Now, trucks are supposed to be built to take a beating, haul stuff in the bed. They're supposed to be really well made. Originally, most of them were. In many cases, the trucks were built better than the same manufacturer's cars. Take Ford for an example. Their F-150s have sold them for a long time. They actually, as far as I'm concerned, were better built than most of their cars, which is kind of proved today. Because everything that they're selling in 2020 on is trucks and SUVs that are based on truck platforms. The only car they're making is the Mustang. Everything else is a truck or SUV. So that shows it. They knew about trucks, they built good trucks, and they actually have given up with their cars. Now, the first truck I advise you not to buy from 2019 is the Chevy Colorado or the GMC Canyon, basically the same vehicle. Now, the Chevy Colorado reappeared in 2015. They started making them again, and as far as I'm concerned, they should have disappeared and not reappeared. Don't do that magic trick, please. The lack of quality that GM and GMC, same company, have shown, shows up in these things. They don't hold up over time. They have engine problems, drivetrain problems. I had a customer driving down the road, the wheel collapsing because the control arm broke. Uncalled for problems in a vehicle that's supposed to be a pickup truck that can handle things. Fuel pumps breaking down early where you got to drop the whole gas tank to replace it. I mean, just the overall design of these things is not all that well thought out and certainly not well put together. Now, these Colorados can go from $22 all the way up to $42,000. I could think of a lot better use of the money if you want a truck that's going to last and you don't expect it to fall apart before it's time, especially in that price range. Now, the next pickup truck of 2019 I wouldn't really advise you to buy is a 2019 Nissan Titan. There's various configurations that you can get with them. The one that I'm telling you not to buy is the one with the gasoline engine. They have started to put Cummins diesel engines in these Titans, and the Cummins diesel engines have a pretty good history. So those, hey, the jury's still out on those. But here I'm talking about the one that has the V8 gasoline engine in it. They have histories of problems, electrical problems, leak problems. For the money that you're paying, you could do much better than a Nissan Titan. Between $32,000 and $50,000 for a Titan, depending on what you put on it. If it's 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, gasoline, diesel. That's a lot of money. You're going to spend that kind of money, you want to make a wise decision. My own customers that bought them, they weren't totally satisfied. Ever since Nissan was taken over by Renault a long time ago, their quality has been declining. Just what happened to them. And in this respect, the Nissan Titan, let's say you want to compare it to a Toyota pickup truck. Take the little Nissan, the Frontiers. You can compare them to the Toyota Tacoma, and you can compare the Titan to the Toyota Tundra. With the Nissan Frontier and Titan, you're not getting as much for the same amount of money. And this is reflected by the market. If you look at used versions of the Toyota versus used versions of the Nissans, you can get the Nissans much cheaper than the Toyotas. Toyota used trucks are expensive because people know they're good and they can get a lot for them when they sell them. And since here I'm talking about buying a brand new pickup truck, you want something that's going to be able to haul stuff, that's going to hold up and not break down. You don't want to get a lower quality thing. If anything, when you buy a brand new pickup, you want to get the best quality you can right from the start. And don't skimp for a few $1,000s here or there when you realize you're spending a lot of money to begin with, and don't try to save pennies and end up losing dollars in the long run. Now, the next pickup truck I wouldn't advise you to buy is the 2019 Chevy 2500 Silverado. They're already having fuel system, body integrity problems, transmission and drivetrain problems. And that's now, you know, the things are less than a year old. The Silverado 2500 lands among the lowest vehicles of all the vehicles in reliability. And here again, you want a pickup truck that's going to pull stuff, that's going to have a bed that can hold a lot. Reliability is your #1 concern. When you're looking at a vehicle that has one of the lowest ratings of reliability, hey, run away. Don't even think about buying one of these things. The next pickup I wouldn't advise you to buy is the Ram 3500 pickup. Now, this isn't just my belief. Consumer Reports rated the Ram 3500 as the worst vehicle of all cars and trucks sold in the United States. And that's saying something. The fuel system, the transmission system, and the fit and finish of the body. And here's, to me, the nail in the coffin. Just this morning, I got an email from one of my fans, and he said, Scotty, I should have listened to you. I bought a Ram 3500, and I've had nothing but problems with it, and I know I'm going to lose money, but what do you think about me just getting rid of it and getting a Ford F-150 or an F-250? And I responded, yeah, that's probably a good idea, but I mean, a better idea would have been you listened to me in the first place and didn't buy that Ram, but liked the looks of it and thought, oh, on paper, it can pull a lot and yada yada, but there's a difference between on paper and on the asphalt road driving down the road. I mean, that's what I love when you see reviews of new cars and people tell you how great the new car is. How do they know how great they are? They're new cars. You gotta wait a while till they've been out there to see if they have any problems. And in the case of the 2019 Ram, hey, those problems came out even during the first year. Imagine what they're gonna be like when they're 4 or 5 years old. So don't make a mistake like my fan did and buy one of these Rams. Listen to Scotty, I'm trying to help you out, you know? I gotta fix these things for a living, right? So, when I see problems, I like passing it on. I would rather see people drive around in good vehicles that don't have problems. I hate getting ripped off myself. And I hate to see you getting ripped off too. And then you might say, oh, Scotty, he must be nuts. He's a mechanic. He fixes cars. Why wouldn't you want people to drive cars that break all the time so you can make more money? Well, hey, I'm like my grandfather. I'm an honest mechanic. I want to help people out. There's plenty of things that are going to break on their own over time to keep me busy. I don't need cars that keep breaking over and over and over and over again. I work by myself. I don't have 50 guys with me that I can make money off their backs. I only make money off my own labor, and I like helping people out. Plus, I'm getting old and I've already made enough money. I could retire anytime I wanted to. I just do it because I like doing it and helping people out. And the next bad pickup not to buy in 2019, it's another Ram, the Ram 1500. Consumer Reports rate them as 2 out of 5 for reliability. Now that's pretty poor. Now I know Ram is bragging because for the first time ever, they sold more Ram pickups than Chevy sold Silverado pickups. That's like a race to the bottom. GM's quality's been going down for a long time. Just because Ram beat out GM, hey, that doesn't mean that much these days. If they would have done that in the 1960s or 70s when Chevy was still building pretty good pickup trucks, that would have meant something, but no. This is 2019. The world's changed since then. Now here, I'm especially talking about the Pentastar 3.6 V6 engine that has had a history of problems since they made them. They did the casting on the heads wrong, so some sand would get in, clog up the radiators, ruin the engine. I mean, these things have had all kinds of problems. Fiat's taken over Chrysler, and now the French company Peugeot owns half of Fiat Chrysler. I can't see things getting any better in the future either. Now, if you don't listen to Scotty and you absolutely positively want to get a Ram 1500, at least get one that's got the V8 classic engine. The Hemi engine that Chrysler's been making for a long time. Those are relatively dependable engines. Now the rest of the vehicles, not so much. The ball joints break on the steering system and they got all kinds of problems. Do not buy the one with the Pentastar V6 if you have to buy one. The difference between what's on paper and what's in the real world. You can get impressive ratings from these V6 engines, power and towing and stuff, but see what happens in the real world when they're actually pulling a lot and towing a lot. They just don't hold up like a V8 engine does. Now, the last pickup is the Chevy Silverado with that little bitty 4-cylinder engine that somebody came up with. It's a 2.7 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Now here again, we've got the difference between on paper and in the real world. On paper, it gets better gas mileage because it's a 4-cylinder engine. But those are tests that are done on dynamometers, not in the real world, not pulling stuff, not towing stuff. From my experience of working on vehicles for 52 years, you take a small engine, put it in a big truck, those gas mileages go right down the toilet when you start pulling things, hauling a lot of weight in it. Yeah, when they're empty and they're on a dyno, theoretically they get good gas mileage, but not in the real world when they're actually pulling and hauling stuff with a small engine. Years ago I saw the same thing. They were trying to get better gas mileage for the pickup trucks, so they put in a bunch of V6 engines instead of V8s. My customers that had the V8 engines, they actually got better gas mileage with the V8 when they were pulling heavy loads than the guys did with the V6s, because the V6s were overwhelmed by the weight, and of course the V6s wore out a lot faster than the V8s did. And what is the point of buying a big truck with a small engine if that engine wears out faster? Hey, you just defeated the purpose of, one, better gas mileage, because if you pull a lot of weight, you're not going to get any better gas mileage anyways, and two, it's going to have a shorter lifespan. A turbocharged 4-cylinder engine pulling a big truck, believe me, it's just going to wear out faster than a V8 engine that isn't strained as much, that doesn't have a turbocharger ramming all that air in, which of course is going to wear things out faster. This 4-cylinder engine is an all-new engine that GM made. Never, ever by the first year of any new technology, especially an engine. We have no idea how these things are going to hold up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years from now. This is the first year they came out with that engine. Take my advice and don't buy any of these trucks I was talking about that were made in 2019. And certainly as time goes on, don't buy a used version of one. The price might be low, but so is the quality. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.